Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My topic for today's seminar is distributed object database system. So far, we have seen about relational database. Before going into the topic, there are some applications uh, which are more supportive of object database management system than relational databases. Those applications are computer aided design, office information, and system OIS. Then these object DBMS are better than relational DBMS because uh, value-based data model is nothing but the relational model. They are identified by values, whereas object DBMS are identified by its OIDs. OIDs will be looking it further. Okay, the fundamental object concepts and object models. We have learned many definitions of objects in our computer. The programming languages like C, C++. Almost the definition of object in DBMS is also the same. It is the same. It uses object as the fundamental modeling. The most important object model was developed by Object Data Management Group. That includes object model. That is Object Data Management Group model. Together it is called as ODMG, Object Definition Language. The language which we use to construct or frame this object thing, and object query language. We have 4 object concepts. The first one is object itself. The same definition as in Java and C++. It represents a real entity in the system that is being modeled. It represents a real entity it is used as a tuple in this language. The tuple consists of 3 we can say 3 items or something, because if we use 3 attributes, the definition differs in this. So the 3 things are OID, state, and interface. OID is nothing but object interface, object identifier. I'm sorry. It is immutable. That is, it can't be changed. The next thing is state and interface. State represents the current state of the object, and interfaces we have this. It defines the behavioral or the structural aspect of that object. We'll get into it further. When we look into the example, here it is given as the state of an object is commonly defined as either an atomic value or constructed value. Atomic value is a single value. It does not have a set or kind of thing, and constructed value is tuple or set. Constructor and set constructor, will be looking it further. Consider the following example. This is a tuple, and this is object identifier. You can see the first item on this, and this is its value. It is an atomic value. See, the state of an object is commonly defined as an atomic value or a constructor. Then this is also another type of object identifier, I3, and this is a set constructed value. The same thing, it goes here also. So we can say that I1 is an atomic object, and I3 and I4 are constructed objects, because I3 is an object identifier of an object whose state consists of a set. It is a set, as I have said before. And I4 is also same. Then what is the difference between I3 and I4 means? I4 consists of a set of values, whereas I3 consists of another object identifier, as you can see here, I6. Okay, then when we come to I5, this is an object identifier, and this is a tuple construction set. It is called as tuple valued state, and the square brackets are called as tuple constructed value. The curly braces are called as set constructed value, and these are the attributes, like we have L5, then its value I7, that is object identifier, means it is referencing to that particular object that we'll be learning in the next slides. Consider these values. So in this we have the cars, I1, the first one, and its value, atomic value, Volvo, and then the I2, we have a tuple constructed state, that is name and its separate individual value, John. And my car, we have I1 is referencing this tuple, this object, this tuple set, this tuple object. The same way I3 we have my car, I1 in this is referencing to it. So we can say that John and Mary shared the object denoted by I1. They both own Volvo cars. We can change the value of object I1 from Volvo to Chevrolet. When we update it, we can simply see that I2, it can also be automatically seen by I2 and I3. That is the advantage of this object database management system. Whereas in other kind of like relational database, we have to follow normalization and those redundancy rules. Okay, as I have said in the first slide, the structural aspects of the model are represented by instance variables or attributes that are values. Like this is an attribute and its value. This is an attribute and its value. Together, this is called as tuple. Tuple constructed value set. The behavioral aspects of the model captured in methods, which define the all. Okay, these methods are used to manipulate these objects. For example, the classic example is a lift. When we define methods of a lift, if we give up and down, it manipulates the lift. Like either the lift can go up or down, but it can't go sideways. Then if we come to this, the next type is types and classes. Classes refer to the specific object construct of type of. Okay, like class is something that it gives. Type. Here we have type car. We can have anything. Type fruits or something like that, and these are its attributes. Here, when we get into this, just a second. This is the class definition, specifies that car has eight attributes, 1, 2, 3, and you can see here 8 attributes and 2 methods. Oh, I'm sorry. I think the second method can't be seen. Okay, then the 4 of the attributes are value based. Here the value based attributes are model, year, serial number, capacity. They are value based because they contain atomic value. See, a string, I mean a single value. It does not contain some sub parts inside it. While the others, engine, bumpers, tires, and make are object based because they have object as references. You can see here. See, LR, a left front, right front, left rear, and right rear. It's of the parts of a car. Um, Here we follow a notation that our attributes are lowercase. C, engine. Engine is a lowercase. Bumpers, lowercase. And types, engine, this type of some type, that is uppercase. And here it is a set constructed value. It is represented in curly braces. Here we have age real because this method age takes the system value. The third part is composition or aggregation. As we have seen it, now we'll go deep into this, like referencing of objects, like we use structure, referential structure in C. Here we are using this component, composition aggregation. It is referenced by using these object identifiers, as I have said before, as values of object base. So we can say that both my car and my car in John and Mary have the instance C1. C1 is one instance of a car. I mean, it is referencing to that part. So we can say that no one would expect in real life for tires to be used on multiple vehicles at the same time, right? So we cannot have C1 here and C2 here. The last one is subclassing and inheritance. Subclassing indicate and is a relationship between classes. Is a relationship we have already studied in database management system, like car is a vehicle, truck is a vehicle, and etc etc. But together, when we want to generalize it, it becomes a vehicle. I mean, all together, car, truck together, they become a vehicle. Inheritance is the same definition as we have already seen in C and C++, like deriving a class from an already existing class. I didn't understand this definition, so I'm giving it in more simpler manner like that. And the same we have the class which inherits the properties of its of an already existed class is called as subclass, and the class which is inheriting those properties to another class is called as superclass. Like we can see here, it may inherit the behavior interface of its superclass or its implementation or both. It can be anything. Here, type vehicle as object. Type vehicle is the type, so vehicle is an object. We can say that vehicle defines the properties of all these: car, truck, bike, everything, like engine, make. Each and every vehicle has these common properties. So it is like that. And vehicle is defined as a subclass of object. Type vehicle as object. Here as indicates that vehicle is inheriting the properties of this object. I mean, this is passing on its traits to this vehicle. We have these general properties. Then, if we, as I've said, if we write another definition like type car as vehicle, then car is inheriting the properties from the vehicle. It The car the car has the vehicle common properties, and it itself has some of its own properties, which are not present in truck and bike. So vehicle is a generalization of car, as I've said. It is a generalization of truck and everything. We have this issue which is called, I mean, it raises two issues in subclassing and inheritance: the shallow extent and deep extent. Shallow extent is conforming to the class, like a vehicle as an object. It is a shallow extent. Deep extent, we are going deep into it. So car itself is I mean, it comes under vehicle. So I mean, um, it has its extensions from its vehicle superclass.